What is pipeweed? Where does it come from? Tolkien Trivia, I talk about odd little side questions in Tolkien's Legendarium. And this is actually an easy question, but I come to answer a meme gone wrong. The meme or joke or whatever is, it's pipeweed, right? So, that's why they're so relaxed. Except I've, over time, increasingly come into contact with people who are like, no, that's actually what it is. It really is that. And I think, so this conservative Catholic from 1892, okay, that's what he thinks, that's what he's created. There's kind of an interesting story behind it, though, as well. So let's find out what it is and settle it, and then touch on those interesting points. Page 8 of my 50th anniversary edition has the easy answer in prologue, part 2 concerning pipeweed, which is just over a page long. The fact that Tolkien puts the prologue at the start, I know that's where prologues go, but what he puts in the prologue seems to matter to me. It says a lot about his programmatic concerns in the book, and that makes pipeweed all the weirder because, of course, it's not a big thematic point. But there is something about Hobbit culture, which I think was, that's in there about this kind of very relaxed, creative, and consumptive people. And it is simply enough. It is this. He says, and if this is not itself from the Red Book, then it's Tolkien saying it, presumably. It's a variety probably of Nicotiana. It does quote Meriadoc Brandybuck on the subject, which is that hobbits liked burning and smoking weeds, and eventually found a nice one that Tobold Hornblower of Longbottom sorted out, hence that breed being called Old Toby. And it's, becoming more popular and spreading to other places. And then he says it was, I suspect, originally brought overseas by the men of Westerness. It grows abundantly in Gondor. There is richer and larger in the north, where it's never found wild and flourishes only in warm, sheltered places like Longbottom. The men of Gondor call it sweet Galenus and esteem it only for the fragrance of its flowers. In a chapter, Return of the King, I think, as it is in Return of the King, I think it might be Pippin and Beregond, I forget. It's called, I think, Westman's Leaf as well. So it's cited as something which comes from the west. It seems pretty clear it comes from there to Gondor, up the Anduin. Jobbed. Simple enough, I guess. There's a couple of observations. So one, it's definitely some kind of tobacco, or almost certainly some kind of tobacco. And it almost certainly seems to come from Numenor. That's where it grows. Now, it makes it unclear where it first comes from. Is it a special seed from Aman, from the Blessed West? Is it something that was in Beleriand beforehand? Beleriand is obviously quite far north as well, so presumably not. It must be, if it's native somewhere that's not Numenor, from further south. Was it created by Yavanna for the or something like that for the men of Westerness, just as a nice smelling herb? Who knows? Is it just common tobacco? There's one reason to think it might not be exactly what we think of as tobacco, but something very similar, is the fact that it grows at all well in the north, even if it requires sheltered places. The Shire is England, and I don't know that without a lot of artificial help, tobacco can grow really anywhere here in quantity. Maybe it can. Correct me in the comments. But of course, you get that with grapes, that the successful grapes that are grown across southern England for perfectly good wines are generally hybrids. They're hybrids that are made to be cold tolerant and require less sunlight, a shorter season. And tobacco is a subtropical plant. It's a wetter, warmer plant than grapes are, in fact, I think. Microclimate can make a big difference, though, I grant. So yeah, it's tobacco, and it comes from Westerness. And yet, without knowing more about its origin, I just think that's an interesting thing there. Part of this is a gag, so, I know I'm overthinking this side of it. Oh, how do they end up smoking it? Well, because he wanted to have hobbits who smoked pipes. But it's equally as Tolkien, so there's always going to be an ex post facto kind of explanation for it. And I think here, this sense that, you have this sweet smelling herb that these men enjoy and that grows all over the place where they live in Gondor, and is perhaps then a kind of reminder of Westerness, as well. At least, it's, even if it's a passive reminder, a subliminal reminder. I think there's something kind of quite nice and powerful in that. The fact that that's his explanation does freight it with a surprising emotional weight. But then it shouldn't surprise us, because for I say it's a joke, hobbits smoke pipes. That sort of ritualistic consumption is itself kind of quite profoundly emotional, both in and not just about tobacco, but for all around the world, for all kinds of consumption of herbs or narcotics or whatever. The centrality of beer in some cultures, the centrality of wine, and so it kind of makes sense. It's something where it matters for the hobbits in a way that is parallel to the way almost what it might represent to Gondorians. So yeah, it's an easy question, easily answered. There's a couple of little side questions. How on earth did it end up on Numenor? What do people in Gondor? How many people in Gondor have any sense that it's a strange reminder of their blessed land? How far is this Tolkien just having a laugh? But there we are. That you answer some of that in the comments, and remember to very snottily and annoyedly roll this out next time someone misquotes a joke to you. Anyway, I will see you next time.